Hi, this is Wesley from Google Cloud, and welcome to Serverless Migration Station, a Serverless Expedition mini-series dedicated to helping developers modernize their apps to using the latest features available on one of our serverless compute platforms. I'm joined by Serverless Expedition host Martin and our little friend Porter the Train, who will take us on our continuing journey migrating from App Engine Blobstore to Cloud Storage.
Sounds great, and glad to be here, Wes. Last time, in Module 15, we added App Engine Blobstore to our sample app. What are we doing today?
Now that we have Blobstore usage in our app, today's exercise is to migrate it to Cloud Storage. Check out the Module 15 video and code lab because we pick up from where it leaves off. In addition to Cloud Storage, we're doing 3 other migrations at the same time.
Now wait, Wes, did you really say we're doing 1 plus 3? That is 4 migrations today? Why on earth would you do that?
True, it does sound like a lot. The primary focus is on App Engine Blobstore to Cloud Storage because we've already covered the others. For example, moving from the Web App 2 framework to Flask is covered in Module 1, and migrating from App Engine NDB to Cloud NDB is addressed by Module 2. When moving to these standalone cloud services, we get the bonus that they're available in Python 3, meaning we can finally upgrade from Python 2. In fact, the updated app will run on both Python 2 and 3 to help with those migration efforts.
Okay, that makes more sense. We're trying to help developers upgrade from App Engine's legacy bundled services to the standalone cloud versions.
That's right, and this migration is no different. Moving from bundled services like Blobstore and NDB for Datastore access to standalone equivalents like Cloud Storage or Cloud NDB or Cloud Datastore makes your apps much more portable in case you ever need to upgrade to the latest App Engine runtimes or move your code to our sister serverless platforms like Cloud Functions or Cloud Run.
Sounds good. I'm going to do this by hand while you're explaining it, so point me in the right direction.
For sure, Martin. Links to everything are down below. Earlier, we recommended doing the Module 15 code lab, so start with your code from that exercise. If you don't have it, clone the repo or download the zip file and grab it from the Module 15 folder. Follow the Module 16 code lab as I go through the migration, and when complete, your code should basically match what's in the Module 16 folder. Ready? Let's go to the computer and walk through this migration. Start by confirming you've got a working Module 15 app. There are no third-party libraries we need to bundle, so no pip install nor a loop folder here. Just run gcloud app deploy to upload to the cloud. Hit your App Engine app, see the form, upload a file or skip it, and get to the most recent visits page. It works, so now we can update the app. Let's start with the config files, namely app.yaml. In Module 15, we use the Jinja 2 built-in library, but because we're switching from Web App 2 to Flask and Jinja comes with Flask, delete this. We're adding use of cloud client libraries. Those require gRPC IO and setup tools, so add those. Cloud storage in particular needs SSL, so add that too. And select the latest versions of all of these. If you're also porting to Python 3, uncomment the line at the top and delete all remaining lines in app.yaml because there are no built-in libraries in the second generation runtimes, as they'll be installed automatically. One more time for Python 3. App.yaml should only have the one line for the runtime, and that's it. Going back to Python 2, we're now using third-party libraries, built-in and non-built-in, or those we need to vendor, bundle, or copy with our app. These include Flask and the Cloud Client libraries. Put them in requirements.txt. The presence of both built-in and vendored third-party libraries means we need to add an appengineconfig.py file with at least these lines in it. This file has been featured in many of the other migrations covered in this series. If this is new to you, see the Installing Libraries for Python 2 Apps link below. Regardless, create both files with the contents you see here. If you're porting to Python 3, there's no vendoring nor use of appengineconfig.py, and all third-party libraries go into requirements.txt. That's it for config. Let's look at the app itself. At the top, swap out all the imports. Web App 2 is replaced by Flask. Instead of using Jinja 2 from Web App 2 extras, it's built into Flask. App Engine Blobstore and NDB are replaced by Cloud NDB and Cloud Storage respectively. The Blobstore handlers in Web App are replaced by a combo of the IO standard lib module, Flask, and WorkZoog utilities. By default, Blobstore writes to a cloud storage bucket named after your app's URL. You know, projectid.appspot.com. Because we're doing a direct port with the Cloud Storage Client library, google.auth is used to get the project ID to specify the exact same bucket name as Blobstore, but realize you can change it. The next block of code is to replace the base handler specifying the use of Jinja 2 as a template engine. This is unnecessary as Jinja 2 is the default in Flask. On the Module 16 side, we need to instantiate the Flask app as well as create API clients for Cloud NDB and Cloud Storage. Finally, we put together the bucket name as described a moment ago. Creating a new visit and querying the most recent visits doesn't really change much. One difference is that Datastore calls must be wrapped in a with block, affecting both store visit and fetch visits. Review the Module 2 Colab in video if you need more info here. The other change is that because we're no longer using Blobstore, we can't use a blob key property. Instead, we'll just exchange it for a file name string. For us here in Module 16, things get really interesting the rest of the way and replacing use of the upload and download handlers. The next step is to refactor the upload handler. Instead of a class, it's just a function in Flask. The post method becomes a decorated argument. Both check if a file was uploaded or not. If there is a file, upload it to Cloud Storage, then create a visit with all the necessary info. Finally, do a 307 redirect to / or home. For the view or download handler, replace the class with another Flask function. Both take the blob or file requested as an argument. The web app routes are at the bottom while Flask routes are all decorators, but you can see the calls to /view with the blob or file info as part of the path. It's then parsed by each handler and requested from Cloud Storage. Oh yeah, and return a 404 if not found. The Blobstore handlers do a bit more of the dirty work, hence why the replacements have a little bit more code. The last thing to take care of is the main handler. Both get and post methods are merged into one function. The get provides an upload URL while the post fetches the most recent visits. Regardless which are called, the template is rendered with the provided data. Since both frameworks use Jinja 2, no changes are needed in the web template. That concludes the required updates to the main application and the initial config changes. Since we're using third-party libraries, run the pip install command to copy the third-party libraries into the lib folder. Now upload to App Engine with gcloud app deploy and confirm the app works identically to the Module 15 version, meaning an initial form with optional file upload followed by the most recent visits page. If it works, you'll have successfully completed all 4 migrations. By the way, the app is fully Python 3 compatible now. Make the earlier suggested change to app.yaml to enable Python 3, delete both appengineconfig.py and the lib folder, run gcloud app deploy, and boom, you've got a live running Python 3 version of your app. Okay, let's get back to the main No wait! Did you all notice this other file, main-migrate.py? What's that? Yes, it's an alternative version of main.py. It exists because updating the data model from using blob key properties to string properties made the app backwards incompatible, meaning it won't be able to process older visits with files created by Blobstore. This version of main.py bridges that gap because it has both file properties and has an ETL function that normalizes blob keys and Cloud Storage file names, meaning it can access files created by Blobstore or Cloud Storage. Interesting, right, Martin?
That's right, Wes. In real apps, you often have to bridge between old and new data. You can't tell users that their old data is gone.
Agreed. And if you are starting from scratch with no Blobstore files, use the normal main.py. But if you're transitioning and want to support files created by Blobstore and Cloud Storage, take a look at main-migrate.py as an example of how to cope with this scenario to help you deal with issues like this in your apps.
Cool. We want to make it easier for developers to modernize their applications. I'm ready to learn more about migrating to Cloud Storage, and I know you got some reading for this.
Definitely. Down below are links to the Cloud Storage migration docs, as well as the general documentation for both Blobstore and Cloud Storage.
Sounds good, Wes. What are the next steps for users to do after this migration?
Thanks for asking. Users can move off of other bundled services like push tasks and memcache. Those are covered by modules 7, 8, and 9, and 12 and 13, respectively. Small App Engine apps can consider simplifying by moving to Cloud Functions, see Module 11. And if containerization is part of your new development workflow, consider moving your apps to Cloud Run. Modules 4 and 5 cover how to do this with and without Docker, respectively. And we hope to see you at one of those migration stations or on another serverless expedition soon. In the meantime, this is Wesley on behalf of Martin and Porter wishing you safe journeys.